All right, guys, welcome back to another video. We'll talk about in this video we will talk about how to use Vwap for for intraday. All right, how you can judge price action through Vwap. I'll give you a very basic framework, so it won't be something something advanced. We'll discuss a very basic framework as to how price revolves around the Vwap. I'll also give you some insights on zones as well, so that maybe it helps you with your intraday trades and you're able to make some money out of it. All right, so let's start. Let's start with the video now. So also again, guys, make sure that you like and subscribe, and also share this video to as many people as you can who are interested, because it really helps with the motivation to keep going. All right, so you can also comment if you like, and let me know what content you want to see more. All right, so yeah, so let's start with the video now. So I'll not go with the formula of VWAP because everyone knows that VWAP is just a moving average with price with volume uh, with volume baked into it. All right, so it's just a moving average, but what happens is you can adjust it to sessions. So basically, it's a kind of a moving average, but every price it's multiplied with the volume that's coming into the price, and then the sum is divided by the total volume which is happening. All right, so that basically gives you a weighted average of price weighted on volume. All right, so if the volume on one candle is more, if candles are similar, if two candles are actually exactly the same, but the volume on one is more than the other, so that candle will affect VWAP more than the second candle, which has a lower volume. All right, so that is the theoretical stuff. What we are going to talk about today is how do we actually use this thing? How do we actually use any moving average to our advantage? All right, so if you see these days, all right, if you see, let's take a sample of this entire price action which we have on our screen. All right, so so if you see, whenever price is trending, it tries to move away from the VWAP. All right, it tries to move away from the VWAP. So every time price is trending in one direction, you see it's testing out the previous supplies, and then it's moving away from the VWAP. All right, here as well, if you see, testing out the demand, moving away, testing out demand, nice expansion candle, goes up. All right, same thing here. It's trying to move away from the VWAP. All right, whenever price is trending, whenever price is range bound, it will tend to move around the VWAP back and forth. All right, tend to move around the VWAP back and forth. So so what happens here is it is making a base. Basically, it's making a range like we talked about in the previous video. If you haven't watched the previous video, I suggest you to go back to the channel and watch that first, so that you're able to mark the bases properly. All right. So whenever price is range bound, it will move up and down around the VWAP. So let's take an example. Let's say this one. All right. So here, if you see, it's moving around the VWAP here. All right. So basically, it's going up and down around the VWAP. It's not really trending that much. So how do we use this information to our advantage, right? What do we actually do here? So first basic rule is, if price is above the VWAP, don't take shots. All right, if price is above the VWAP, do not take shots until and unless it's a downtrend. So what do I mean by this part? So suppose I'm seeing this area right here. All right, let's say this part. So even if I see that it is trying to push lower here, all right, even if there are bearish candles at this part, I won't take a short until and unless it breaks the VWAP on the downside. All right, and it's in an uptrend, so it's in a higher time frame uptrend. So in this part, this is the worst part to take a short trade. All right, this is the worst part because you might get caught in a lot of whipsaws here. All right, so when price is trading above the VWAP, we do not take shots in that situation. All right, and also it's uptrending. Right now, when it's downtrending, let's take a downtrending example. If we have something here. Yeah, let's take this example. So now if you see, this is the previous base right here from which there was a huge fall on the open itself. All right. Now what happens? Price goes back up into this base right here. There is a supply here which is not visible. It will be visible on the India 50, but this is the majority area of the base where the VWAP is there. All right. So in this part, I can look for shorts, provided there is no immediate demand zone here. All right. So if you see, now I'm giving you a bunch of rules, so you can note it down. You can pause the video, slow it down, uh, do whatever makes you comfortable, but don't take any of my statements lightly because it's there from years of experience. All right. So so obviously this supply would have been better if it came up to this supply, but as soon as this area of demand starts to go, all right, these three candles start to break down, I will start looking for shorts around this part. Why? Because here the next demand zone is somewhere here. All right. So there's a big space in this area. So in this situation, it's okay to short above the VWAP because now it's very far away, right? So it's far away. The trend is on your side, not the intraday trend. The higher time frame trend is on your side, and uh, and there is space to move as well. All right, you see big candles here, big candles here as well. So these demand zones, if they get broken, then price will flow freely to the previous base, which is here. All right. So you see what we're doing ultimately is not uh, the power of VWAP. All right, it's not that VWAP is a magic indicator. I wouldn't be able to trade without it. It's actually just your concepts of the base and your space to move. All right. So now let's look at this day. Where do we actually take a short here? All right. So what I'll do is when I see price is already in a flow towards the downside and there is some space here, it's there. All right. And there is probably some space below this demand as well. All right. So you see this move. So what I can do here is I can take a short around these levels when I see pin bars around the VWAP. All right. I'm just giving you uh, examples of entries. I'm not saying that this is the only way to enter. I'm giving you a very simple entry. I personally do not use pin bars. I see a lot of other things, but obviously this is out of the scope of the video. We'll just discuss the structure overall. All right. So if you're seeing pin bars here, then you can attempt a short into these zones. All right. Now, now see what happens. Now, one thing peculiar which is happening on these days, it is testing out the supply again and again without breaking down with big candles. All right. So it means maybe there is some sort of demand around the lows. All right. You see, there is strong volumes on this pin bar as well. So when this happens at a previous demand zone, all right, I will be exiting my shorts here itself when this candle closes right here. This one right here. All right. So I'll be exiting my shorts here itself. Now, will I take a long trade here? I wouldn't because there is no longs here because this supply is the one which started the entire move on the downside. All right. So again, below the VWAP, you see, you can again try some shorts around the VWAP. Now, instead of just using the VWAP, if we study how range bound days play out, all right, how range bound days play out, if you see this broke down below the VWAP, all right, this broke down below the VWAP with strong volumes and big candles, all right. So this is some strong selling coming in from where? From the previous supplies. So now what I'll do is I wouldn't really short at the VWAP here immediately unless it starts pushing the low, obviously. What I can do is I can look for shorts inside this supply because now price is basically trying to make space. All right, price is basically trying to open up this space for trading, and then uh, I can book this short around this demand zone, and I can hold some shorts for lower levels as well. All right, so if this is the VWAP, all right, and if you see price is going up and down like this, do not use the VWAP as your reference. All right, because there is no zone at the VWAP. So there is no zone at the VWAP here. So do not use the VWAP as your reference point for shorts because shorts are coming from this supply. So instead of looking at the VWAP, what we look at is we look at this short. We'll try to take a short here if there is space to move in this part. All right, and then when will be the short? When will the short play out properly? when this space gets filled, and then we go back up and then start falling here again after some sort of contraction. All right. So when price falls directly below the VWAP from a higher point, do not short at the VWAP. That is the mistake which most people do. Most people do, sorry. They do not think about where the move is actually coming from. All right. So so always wait for that. Now here, if you see this part, this is my supply area. All right. This is the supply. This is a very strong supply right here. You see big candles here, and then price goes up and starts breaking down here. So this is a short which I'll take. All right. So it doesn't matter if the trade worked out or not. I'm just giving you an example. All right. This is the short which I'll take. The trade basically does not go further beyond this demand zone. So I'll exit around my cost somewhere here. That's all right. All right. So now for longs. All right. Let's take an example of longs. So let's take this day because it's fairly complicated. You see prices breaking up and down below the VWAP multiple times. All right. So let's take this day as our final example, and then we'll end the video. So this is the initial supply on the day. So you see there are pin bars here. There are pin bars here. All right. We start falling down. We start going up, and then we start falling down here. So I will take a short here. All right. I will take a short here because we are not breaking the supply, and we are falling down from the supply. Now what happens? We go up to the supply again, and here we are starting to make these candles. We're starting to make these pin bars on the upside. All right. So pin bar hammer, it doesn't really matter. I'm just seeing that at the supply, it's trying to push down, but again it's closing higher. So this will tell me that maybe price is trying to go up. All right. But I still wouldn't take a long. It's just only for exiting my shorts. Now what happens? We go up, price goes up. All right. Price goes up here. Price goes up. It tests out the demand. The demand is right here. All right. I'm not sure if you can spot these tiny demand zones, but this is the demand zone right here which led to the move. All right. And then we break out. So now I probably wouldn't participate in this breakout because why? Because in this part I haven't seen any strong bullish candles yet. All right. It's just multiple pin bars going up, so maybe it can fall like this. Something like this can happen here as well. I need to see some sort of momentum kicking in so that I can buy lower again. All right. So not happening. Now what happens? It comes down and breaks straight down below this entire tiny base or demand zone, whatever you want to call it. It breaks straight down without testing this, without holding this area and trying to go up again here. All right. No sort of bullish candles on the VWAP again or at the zone again. All right. Now it breaks down. Now what is the supply which leads to the breakdown? This is the supply which leads to the breakdown. All right. This is the supply which leads to the breakdown. Now price is testing this supply. It's not testing the supply. So here what I'll do is I will take a short with a smaller size when it's pushing through the lows. And why will I take this short? Because if I put up the chart of Bank Nifty on the same space, you see Bank Nifty was pushing the day high on this move. On this move, Bank Nifty was pushing the day high. Nifty wasn't even able to go above the VWAP, right? So very, very weak here, Nifty. So this is a place where I'll short. So obviously this is something I use very, I mean, I wouldn't be able to trade without this relative strength. All right. So obviously this is out of the scope of the video. I'm just here to talk about the structure of Vwap. So this is more or less about Vwap. You want to look at the zones around the Vwap. If there is a lot of space which price is creating, you want to avoid those spaces. All right. You want to avoid the days where price is going is going range bound far from the VWAP. All right. You might try a short inside this base, which is this supply. You might try a short here, but again, you see it goes it goes to the zone because there is space to fill here. And when it tries to break down again, there is a strong bullish candle. So it means that there is bullish sentiment around this area. All right. So you can maybe buy here, but honestly, I will avoid this. I want to be trading around the VWAP. All right. So you can avoid range bound days very easily with this concept. You don't really need to worry about range bound days anymore because range bound days will usually happen when price is uh, moving up and down the VWAP in a random manner. All right. So again, you see this day, this is your demand zone right here, which led to this bullish candle. All right. Breaks down. Price breaks down below the VWAP here. tests out the supply which is formed, which is right here, right? And then we start falling. So this is a very proper shot which I'll take, and there is space, a lot of space here as well. So my trade will be from this part to this part. So it's a good 80, 70, 80 points trade. I think it's around 3-4 hour. All right. You can even hold. I would probably end up holding this or shorting more around this part as well. All right, because the demand is tested. Now we're trying to fall again. So all those are advanced concepts. Just focus on Vwap. All right. Again, here this supply is right here. This supply which led to this entire fall. Again, I'll take a short here. I'll look what is happening here. I'll be exiting around here, around the cost. All right. Probably getting along somewhere here. So this is how you keep trading around the VWAP. Just wait for some sort of initiation candle before you jump in. Don't participate in this area. All right. Because if the price is moving in a tight range like this, it means something is going up and something is going down, and you don't know which one is stronger or weaker. All right. So if you see here, Bank Nifty was the one which was going up in a straight line here. All right. So we don't know when we are seeing this information that which of the components of Nifty is actually doing better. All right. All right, then this is it for the video. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Hopefully, you got to learn something. Have a good week ahead.